Welcome. This is the time for the Capricorn subscriber to receive your Capricorn August 2020 tarot reading. And it's great to see you back again. I really do enjoy your company. Of course, I have had the chance of meeting some of you personally over the last month, haven't I, for private readings, and it's been my great pleasure to get to know you one-on-one. And if you would like to have a personal reading, just check out the information that's in the description box below, and you'll see how easy it is for that to happen. Now, a number of people have asked me, what is that picture that's behind you on the wall when you do these readings? Well, it's not a picture, it's more of an artwork, and we can have a look at it like this. Beautiful, isn't it? But anyway, let's get your Capricorn August 2020 tarot reading underway. I'm going to take 5 tarot cards, because 5 is all we're going to need, because as you know, with me, they are jam-packed full of information. Messages from the world beyond for you this month. I'm not using these playing cards that I have here. I just like the energy that they throw up. I've used them in a couple of readings that I do as part of my ordinary reading practice, and they are phenomenally accurate. There is the Fool for you. Well, is it innocence? Is it ignorance? We shall find out. What's in here? There's the Healer of Cups. I think there might be some healing of the inner child going on here. Now, I want to see what's in the center here. What is there? The 6 of Discs. Oh, that's fantastic. You're going to love that, Capricorn, because you like material security, don't you? You're an eye on the prize, feet on the ground sort of a person, so you will really appreciate the energy that's coming up from that. It's just such a good vibe for material things for you. Now there is 8, Major Arcana Balance, which is really about restoring the cosmic order. And finally, well, there's 2 there. Am I going to take either of them? I don't think so. I think I might take this one. The Green Man. Fascinating, what? Why don't you, I'll bring the camera around and we can have a look at these cards together so you get a good close look at the really quite exquisite artwork on these, I must say, while I do the reading for you. Okay, now I think you can see those. Let's have a look at this fantastic first card that you drew, which is the Fool. And what does it say? Innocence or ignorance as a question? Well, let's have a look. The Fool. This is really one of the best cards in the deck, you know, and particularly in that first position there. This is a really auspicious time for you, you know. As the first card in the deck, it's assigned, of course, the number 0, because the Fool is at the beginning of a journey of transformation which takes place as the Fool goes through all of the experiences which are represented by each of the Major Arcana cards. Now, going through the journey and learning from all the complexities of life provides a deeper perspective and grounding of wisdom. You could say that the successful completion of this journey is coming back to the beginner's mind once you have learned the ropes. Now, another of the Fool's gifts is the vibrant, bouncy energy that she, well, I'll refer to it as a she, but it's male and female, the Fool. Actually, it's neither at this stage, it's just spirit. But here it's I assume, drawn as a woman, so I'll use she. Now, this vibrancy and great energy is something that she shares with the child. She knows how to play and is filled with wonder. The Fool is forever off on new adventures. She is the spirit of adventure as well as the spirit of trust. And in this picture, her bauble includes a multifaceted star representing the unlimited future potential and hope. Because the Fool does not have an image to uphold, she is free to change and to speak her truth. Like the child who said the emperor had no clothes, the fool might say anything, sometimes to the dismay of those invested in the social order, it has to be said. It is often the fool who can most effectively burst old patterns. This can provide the break from consensual reality that is needed to open up a new way of doing things, or it can usher in a period of chaos. But if there is any chaos in your life, it's for a good purpose, and it's coming about for the right things. I think that this card really heralds an unexpected opportunity for you, or an adventure. Now you may be able to, or about to, step off the cliff of the old order and fall into a new phase of your life. Or it may be a challenge to trust, to open the heart, and come back to a more childlike relationship with the source of all being. Sometimes, let's pull it out a bit here, sometimes something as simple as affirming your openness to change or a more trusting relationship with life can prepare that ground, you know. Now for you, this is talking about something new or spontaneous about to happen, the beginning of a journey into the unknown, which is really full of good potential for you. You need to take a leap, not of faith, but with the inner confidence that you are going to be okay. Open up your life and have faith that you can create what you want. Maybe you feel as if you want to break free from the usual routine of life and look upon life as the fool does and be empty again as a child is. Manifesting creativity, move towards wholeness, re-own your courage, and maybe even a spiritual attention is called for. But this is the card that, for me, is the one who walks without fear, and you will have the courage to be who you are and without any fear. Well, there is another major arcana sitting just underneath it. This is a very interesting month for you, I think. I'll do this, and then I'll do this card up here. This is all about success, incidentally, but I'll get to that probably after this green man here. But let's have a look at balance, shall we? Balance. And first, let me look at the painting and see what there is. Well, in this painting, a woman is holding the wheel of karma. This is a very karmic card. It spirals outward and becomes part of her veil, representing how the thread of karma spins out into your life. The forms on the lower right are figures drawn in the African style of representation, I think. They are the ancestors who, for many, represent a kind of biological karma through which behavioral patterns are passed down through generations. In some cultures, the ancestors are also used as guides who help ensure that people act ethically. One way to honor your ancestors is to avoid disgracing them by your conduct. Now, the woman in this card is connected not only to the ancestors and the wheel of karma, but also to the natural world. This is an important source of her attunement and guidance. Now, as with so many cards, this card, number 8, Major Arcana, has been called by a number of different names. Very often it's called Justice. Sometimes, for example, in the Thoth deck, it's called Adjustment. And sometimes, as in here, it's called Balance. All of these, for me, really have a sort of a related meaning, because it is about universal law working to bring things back into balance or harmony. On the societal level, this may take the form of redress for past injury. On the soul level, it is what we often refer to as the law of karma. It is justice, not in a precise eye for an eye way, but in a larger way that often only the spiritual eye, as it were, can see. Whenever you become seriously out of balance, some rectifying force is called in. The body, nature, society, your psyche, all have their ways of trying to restore balance. Many of the symptoms that manifest in the body, for example, are an attempt to balance a system that has been severely stressed. Just as the body must sometimes go to great lengths to restore balance, so must Earth, your psyche, and every living system. Now, the really good astrology of this card is Venus ruling Libra with Saturn exalted. And Libra gives her the sense of balance here, because Libra is often represented by the scales, isn't it? So I think we do have coming into your life balancing, centering, equilibrium, the balance of opposites, and also justice for things that are in place. I think this could well be a time of you taking stock of your life to see what is useful and what should be let go. Think clearly about your life ahead and be aware that all actions have consequences. That is karma. Get a clear vision of the possibilities that are coming to you from this card of the Fool, and be centered in them, and live a balanced life. This is about you following your true path and what gives it the most meaning. I'd have this thought in mind. I am balanced and centered. I honor my word. I value being truthful in difficult situations. The abundance and beauty of nature is a reflection of my own nature. I am at rest in my own center. Yep. Now, let's have a look at this, because it's no accident that these cards come up like this, is it? Let's have a look at this. What's it called? The Healer of Cups, and it is healing the what? The inner child. Well, let's see what this has to say. Well, the first thing that I'm getting up here is a lot of Scorpio energy, a lot of Sagittarius energy, and a lot of Libra energy. I think that they are going to be people who are important to you, or to those aspects of this card that don't directly relate to you. They will relate to one of those people in your life, being, as I say, a Scorpio or a Libra or a Sagittarius, I think. But in this painting, a woman sends healing energy through her hands to the heart of her inner child. A spirit guide assists from behind, sending energy through the woman's heart. A stream of light connects them all, reminding us that the child, adult, and spiritual self are all connected. They are all parts of you. This Healer of Cups, I think, represents healing in the emotional realms, which generally center around healing the past. Since much of what does need to be healed resides in the wounded inner child, then I think that we can see this being a healing of the inner child, and I suppose it's a sensible title in that respect. The inner child for you includes your reservoir of feelings that have not yet been worked through, as well as identifications with certain self-images. When you drain the swamp of repressed and congested feelings, what you're left with is an inner child who brings the gifts of wonder, joy, spontaneity, play, and increased creativity. into your life. Which is very much what this Fool card was saying to you, wasn't it? And really, the balancing of this. I think that much of the healing journey revolves around coming into relationship with the wounded child and reparenting her or him. This will take an investment of time and energy. You must learn to listen to the feelings of this child and respond in caring and compassionate ways. Since we tend to respond to the child in us in a similar way as our caretakers once did, part of the healing may involve developing the qualities of a nurturing parent. Now, the benefit of this work is not just clearing the reservoir of old feelings, but cultivating a true intimacy and tenderness with yourself. I also think that this represents a young woman who is very gracious, voluptuous, sweet, gentle, kind, really very romantic and dreamy in a way. She's the healer of cups, but for me she is the princess of the palace of the floods. And she represents esoterically the earthy part of water and its participation in crystallization. She represents the power of water to give substance to idea and to support life and to form the basis of chemical combinations. The character of this woman is infinitely gracious, all sweetness and voluptuousness, gentleness, kind, and tenderness in her character. She almost lives in a world of romance, in the perpetual dream of rapture. Now, superficially, she might be thought of as being selfish and lazy, but this is really a false impression because she goes about her work silently and effectively. I think, as I say, a very gentle, kind person. Her depth, because she's here with the water here, is demonstrated by her romantic nature. It's almost as if, in a sense, she has her eyes shut to the surrounding environment. She can be a dreamer and not engaging in life because she does live in that world of romance. Now, she can be dependent on others, but does give a lot in return. I think what this is saying to you also is that this is a time particularly for you to trust your feelings and perceptions. You are on the right path. Is there anything else preventing you from being fully free? Because you now have the opportunity to let go of it as well. Imagine you are surrounded by water and dancing the dance of salvation and freedom with light, flowing movements. Say this to yourself: the more I love myself, the more I can share with others. Now, there might also be a more rigorous side to you, I think, during this period. And this rigor and hardness may be signified by this. Now, watch this. It is called, put your glasses on, Nigel. Ruling in harmony with nature, the Green Man. Well, I'll see how far I can get with that, but I'm getting a lot of energy, which is contradictory. Well, here he is, the Green Man. Well, traditionally, Major Arcana number 4 is, as you probably know, the Emperor. This card represents the principle of power and leadership. It also represents what can be called father energy, although its presentation here, as I see it, is in a form that is not often actualized in our current culture. An important thread not very common, but one that seems to me to be the case here, is that this green man represents the intelligence of nature and bringing that knowledge to the human community. But I really am getting a lot more strength to it than this sort of hippie type character, and let me just say why. Well, I suppose the main reason why is that for me, he is the son of the morning, the chief among the mighty. And I think that during this period, there's going to be a very strong impetus within you, notwithstanding the balance and notwithstanding perhaps a romantic outlook on life, and in particular in relation to these new opportunities that are coming up, is that I think that you may well find that you have a great preoccupation with power and control over other people or yourself. Now, you'll be seen as a natural leader and organizer with a using judgment that you have obtained through your life to date. This is very much a lot of Aries energy inside here, with Mars ruling. So we have here a great degree of fire, of pioneering, of moving forward. There is success through discipline and application. I think that although there may well be periods, see, this may actually relate to someone that you know, because this major arcana, I think, is pushing so heavily against this card, where it's talking about you being a very rational thinker. So I don't know that you're going to be lost in romance or lost to what's going on in the world around you. Because what the Emperor does is the Emperor keeps a constant eye out on what is happening in his empire. He doesn't react. He is proactive to make sure that things happen in a way which is, basically for his own good, and that means by keeping the empire good. Status, I think, is going to be important to you, as is material security and stability. Now, you might find that you are actually quite fiery during this period, and not at all passive. Now, it's such a good thing that it's diagonally opposite this Fool here, which is talking about the beginning of new adventures here, because this is a really good moment for change or for new beginnings, and it's also saying to trust your own energy and to move with it. There's a lot of activity around here. You may be making some journeys, short journeys. I think that it could be that some people find you a little bit difficult to get to know. You'll have an interest in discipline, and actually, and you forgive me, I don't mean any disrespect here, but there may well be fantasies surrounding discipline, if you know what I mean, which may or may not be played out. But what revitalization does your life need? Are there steps you would like to take to go forward? This person is rock-like. Rock-like. Examine yourself critically, especially in regard to your relations with people who work for you and also for people that you work for. Trust your power. Understand that you rule by serving and you serve by ruling, and have this thought in mind. I enjoy initiating projects. I value and honor my leadership ability. I am a responsible person. Now, the other thing that I'll have to say about this Emperor here is I find him very much associated in this spread with the root chakra. And the Emperor might be regulating his emotions and desires and redirecting his sexual energy to manipulate what he wants to have happen in the world. There is a great creative energy with him that balances practicality with this creative and originality that's exemplified by the Fool card. And this takes us then into this card here, the web what's it called? The Web of Life, the Six of Discs. Look, this is just a fantastic card for you because it is the Lord of Material Success. It's the moon ruling the second decan of Taurus. Now, the moon is exalted in Taurus in ordinary astrology, and this is a really good sign. But because the moon's transient nature, it means that, it ebbs and it flows, it's full and then it disappears. This means that your success is not going to be a continuum. But like this web, a fly might come into it or a moth might come into it. So from the point of view of the spider, there is a success here, there is a success there, there is a success here. The moon, exalted in Taurus, that's a great sign. Well, the moon likes nurturing and comfort, and the Taurus likes material things, don't they? So they're really well suited for bringing about success in your material world. So I see success and generosity both ways, paying it forward. I can see you receiving a financial boost. For those who are interested in pursuing a grant or a scholarship, I think that is going to go well. And for those who need at this time to access the welfare system, I think that those applications to the welfare system are going to turn out to be profitable and useful here. So the real general feeling is of success and financial prosperity. You may have the opportunity to be involved in a profitable adventure, and it's a reminder for you to remember the successes in your life and build on these. What does success mean for you at the moment? Visualize as precisely as possible what your success looks like. Be open to your success. It is no less than a gift you can learn to accept thankfully and humbly. Real success only comes once you have learned to serve, because success under these conditions enriches all levels of your being. And have this thought in mind: my self-acceptance and self-confidence are the keys to real success. Well, really a great spread for you, Capricorn. Well done. And that's the way it is for you this month. Well, there you go, the month of August in 2020 for you, and it looks like it's going to be a great month, and I hope you enjoyed that reading as much as I did providing it to you. It's my great pleasure to provide these readings to you, Actually, if you do want to have a personal reading, check out the information that's in the description box below and you can see how easy it is. But in the meantime, I look forward to seeing you again next month, and until then, always remember this, that you are a legend. And I look forward to seeing you again next month. Until then, it's bye for now.